When there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth. And that means, of course, on the docket today, we have maybe the most famous zombie film ever made, Dawn of the Dead. And that's right, I will be the first YouTuber ever talking about this film to be wearing a bluey Rad Dad shirt. Dawn of the Dead, the original from 1978, follows two Philadelphia SWAT team members, a reporter, and a TV executive during the beginning stages of a zombie pandemic who find shelter and a home in the confines of a shopping mall. Two things right off the bat. One, I had always seen clips of this movie. I watched the Red Letter Media review about this movie, and I had always seen this iconic image of, spoiler alert, one of the main characters after he had already been turned into a zombie. But I always thought this movie was just people messing with zombies in a mall. I always just thought this movie was the last 20 minutes of this movie just stretched over a 2-hour runtime. It is not. And I am so happy with what the actual movie ended up being. Now, two, I couldn't find this movie streaming anywhere without having to pay real money for it. But I did find a Dawn of the Dead complete cut that is apparently a mashup of the 3 different cuts of the movie, all spliced together for a complete movie. So if you have only watched the theatrical cut or the extended cut or the Argento cut, I say something that is different than what you saw in your version, that is why. If I wasn't doing a movie a day and had more time to really deep dive, I would watch the 3 different versions and compare them to this complete cut. But this video is already coming out late, so I quite literally do not have time. However, I will post a link to the version I watch down below. Let me know which version you prefer and why in the comments. Also, like, subscribe, do the other YouTube stuff. It helps out, I guess. Now, about the movie itself, I legitimately love this movie. First time viewing it, and the opening has a great frenetic pace where everyone feels stressed and on edge. It's a great appetizer for the main course of the world falling apart around these people. I love when these elevated B horror movies get into the psychology of whatever movie monster the movie is about. So the philosophical discussions throughout the movie about what the world should do to get rid of the zombies or what it should do to live among them is great stuff. And for lack of a better term, I love that shit. In the version I watched, I absolutely love the Goblin slash Argento score. It's playful when it needs to be, haunting when it wants to be, and creates this otherworldly uneasiness as we float through the movie and disappear deeper into this zombie infested world. What this movie does really well that is never represented better than in the SWAT raid at the beginning of the movie is I love when zombie films force you to never forget that the zombies were people first before they became monsters. And more importantly, I love when the living humans in these movies are still trying to hold on to their humanity by not completely seeing the zombies as just monsters, but more so as a reflection of themselves, as if they were bitten or killed. A perfect example of this is the policeman or SWAT member who shoots himself in the head after coming into his first contact with the newly discovered victims of the zombie outbreak. So scared of the thought of not only becoming one, but the fear of having to come face to face with another one is just too much for this man to bear. And of course, that scene takes place after one of the best head explosions in cinema history happens. After those first 2 set pieces, the movie kind of becomes a road movie where our main characters get together and hit the road, or in this case, the skies, looking for some place to stock up on supplies. And that's where they hit the jackpot by finding a semi secluded shopping mall. The tedious nature of the group grabbing supplies from the stores and distracting zombies while doing it is maybe some of my favorite stuff in the movie. It's just suspenseful enough to keep your attention and smart enough to where it's a wish fulfillment. You are watching the movie going, oh, yeah. Yeah, if I was in this exact scenario, I would be doing exactly what these people are doing. This movie also highlights the terrifying nature of slow moving zombies, which is one on one or you against a couple zombies, no problem. You can just push or punch your way out of that pickle, right? But this movie shows that it's the number of them that are scary. A horde of zombies can outnumber you before you know you were outnumbered, and then it's too late and you've already joined them. Do you want to abort it? It's not too late and I know how. What if after he said that, it was just a hard cut to him throwing her down the stairs? That line is, of course, said by Peter to Francine when the group finds out Francine is pregnant. And I'm sorry, what does that even mean? What do you mean you know how? You're a SWAT member. How on earth would you know how to do that? Peter, played by Ken Foree, is the best character in the movie. He is the de facto leader and constantly reminding the other three people in the group to stop underestimating the situation or the zombies themselves. He keeps the others in check while also making sure the others have what they need and that they want for nothing. He legitimately might be one of the best on-screen portrayals of an ideal leader we have ever gotten, if you really think about it. He is stern but fair, level-headed, takes care of you, has no problem fighting for you, and never talks or acts like he is above you. Also, if you need an abortion, he's the guy to call.
You want to get rid of it? Huh? Do you want to abort it? It's not too late, and I know how.
The most heart pounding and intense scene in the movie, for me personally, is when Peter and Roger go to move the trucks to block the mall entrances. Roger's truck gets swarmed by zombies as he is crawling to Peter's cab, and in a state of carelessness, he forgets his bag in his truck that they are leaving behind, forcing Peter to pull back up to the truck so Roger can get his bag. And of course, there are a lot of zombies around, and all it takes is one mistake. Roger gets bitten, and then it's a slow ticking clock of him getting sick and then finally turning into, again, one of the most iconic zombies in pop culture history. Random, but I really, really love the Orson Welles sounding man, aka Millard Rauch, who earlier in the film on the television is first explaining what a mall is and what the zombies are, and then later talking about nuking the zombies away or just feeding them, presumably live humans. I love the idea that there is still sections of this world where people are still putting on television shows where they debate about what to do to solve the ongoing zombie outbreak. Once Roger dies, we get basically an extended montage of the three remaining survivors getting stir crazy. Flyboy proposes to Francine, who turns him down, and they all kind of just start getting cabin fever. That is until a gang of ruffians show up, and then the movie just gets insane for 20 minutes with some really fun and really dumb zombie killing action. And then Flyboy dies, and Francine and Peter fly off into the distance because earlier in the film, we saw Flyboy teaching Francine how to fly that helicopter. Over the course of your life, you hear all about a classic movie and how good it is, and then you never watch it and you just think, no way can it live up to the hype. And in very rare cases, it does. This is one of those very rare cases. This movie lives up to the hype, and I think it is the most iconic zombie movie ever made, and for good reason. It's smart, it's scary, it's poignant, and it's a hell of a good movie. There you have it. Day 6 in the books. Join me tomorrow where we talk about another Dawn of the Dead. That's right, we are talking about the Zack Snyder 2004 remake, Dawn of the Dead. as the 31 Days of Horror Hullaba Boo continues. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Do you want to abort it?